Mike Moore Media.
Our Madison update is sponsored by Mad Bean Grocery Store and Coffee Shop, Madison Pharmacy and Home Care, Den River Insurance Services, and JDK Automotive. Thanks to these fine Madison businesses. More about them in a little bit, but right now on the line is the mayor of Madison, David Myers. Mayor, hey, welcome back.
Hey, thank you very much. And I'm listening to your sponsors there. We've got a few more on there. I want to, first of all, extend a grateful thanks to all of your new sponsors there for this segment here. And I'm hoping that what I put out there when we talk is beneficial to everybody. I mean, especially since they are in their house and having cabin fever, probably right now.
You're right.
But,
well, it's always good to get an update from you, and particularly now even more than ever, I guess, because things are changing so rapidly, and we're trying to keep up to date on all of that. So tell us what's happening around town, Mayor.
Well, first of all, we got some new businesses going in downtown. I mean, they're working on it. A couple of my police officers are opening up, and now that the governor, and I'm going to lead with that right there, by the way. We're in. I think basically he might have read some of my stuff I sent to him because he has used the term condition base a couple of times, and that was in the note that I sent to him on his website. So. And he's doing it in a phased approach, and he's actually letting us know sooner than later, what the phases are. So,
good.
Phase one right here being that, really didn't, change that drastically. I mean, it did open up the retail stores. You still got to do your social distancing, and I want to applaud, Walmart. They've gotten really good over here, and Food Line too, and for theirs, and all the other stores that are putting the X's on the floor and Lowe's to stay 6 feet from one another, and wear a mask, and they got screens up and stuff like that. It's more of the citizens though they need to get in line with that because you've got these aisles, and it said go down this aisle with this arrow. Well, it's done that way for a purpose, and yet you'll still have someone coming 180 out from you.
Oh yeah,
and it just. Yeah. And me being military just drives me nuts,
Well, it drives me nuts too. Yeah.
So I mean, it's there for a purpose, and I really want if everybody wants to get through this thing, I beg you please adhere to the procedures. Because that little bit of effort right there is going to help us get through this.
That's exactly right.
We're with the on the governor's timeline. All the municipalities are and doing what we can to patrol that effort. We have got the retail stores are going to start or have opened up since May the 8th, and if we continue to go with a flat line on this for the state. Then on the 22nd of May, he goes into phase two. And phase two, then we'll open up more things. You can go and read them online, but it lists out, what they are. And then it'll probably, like the dining facilities, the restaurants and things, and they will be at only a max capacity, I think, of 25% of whatever their fire code capacity number is. So everybody needs to get familiar with that, wearing a mask and stuff like that. And that'll last for 6 to 8 weeks, according to his timeline. And if it continues to go down that takes us into probably about August, September time frame. And that then takes us into phase 3, which becomes a full opening. And then you're going to have to watch it. But really, all of this really is predicated on how well everybody respects those procedures as we just talked about.
That's exactly right. Yeah, how those numbers are.
Now, you want it to come down, then follow the procedures.
Yeah. Okay.
We're doing that, and our town hall is now back open. I know everyone was kind of frustrated knocking on the door, but we've changed some things. We've put a wall now in the finance department down there where the ladies that are working in there, it's security, and then we're getting cameras set up so they can see people when they come in because they are exchanging money left and right. And it was just wide open. And so, a wall was put up in there with windows and stuff, and it's more professional, I think, now, and its presentation. and we've got security cameras to watch, and so that they can see who comes in there, and it's their safety, that's there too. So that's in place. We're now up, but I'm sure everyone's looking around town going, well, why isn't this debris being picked up? Why is this? Well, we've been working with about a 50% staff, just like everybody else has out there, for the last couple of months. And, and some things had to take, a back seat, and we had to prioritize what we needed to do, like fixing lines that may have a leak in it, and just doing things that are priorities. But we're now getting back, all the other municipalities are now getting back to where they're back to putting, the couple of people on their trucks and starting to pick up things and pick up debris and stuff out that has been sitting there for maybe, a little bit longer than they normally do. Mm-hmm. So that, those are the things that everybody's been having to deal with. And we're not the only municipalities that had to deal with that, because I speak to all the mayors all the time. Yeah,
and we just need to be a little more patient here and tolerant. That's the thing too.
Yes, yes. Yeah. It would help. I understand. A lot of people. One of the perks of Madison is we pick up a lot of people's furniture that they put out there, and I would ask that be patient, be a little bit cautious with how much you put out there, because we're not going to pick up everything. And you empty the house, we're not coming up to pick up your whole house.
Right. Okay.
Of furniture out there, so you got to coordinate with the town on that. But a couple items and stuff out there would help out, because right now we've got one guy on the truck, and that's going around, and he's doing all he can to get all this stuff. We've had to spread people out, just like all the other stores have been doing. Mm-hmm. So that's what's been going on. So we're getting on there, And that leads up to the next thing. We had to cancel our meeting last month, but we are having our meeting Thursday night. We can only have 10 people in there, and that's basically all the aldermen and myself and the clerk. And then we have, chief is always in, the chief of police. If somebody wants to come in, then I'm going to have one of my aldermen leave, so I keep the numbers, and we're going to be spread out while we're in there. So, and this is budget season, so we're getting ready for the budget. So. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's budget time. I want to go back just a moment to what you were saying about some of the changes at Town Hall, because I'm thinking, out of this negative, it sounds like there's some positives that have been created, and that you're working your way through that and making improvements for the better.
Yes, we are. I mean, we've noticed some things like, when you come into the Madison Town Hall, Lynette, who's the town clerk, she's over in one area, and she really can't see who's coming through the door. Amy, who does planning and zoning, she's in another office, and she can't see. They've had to lock it, so I'm sitting there looking and going, well, maybe we need to take one of their walls and put a window in each one of those, and then put like a buzzer on the door, so when someone comes up, they can see them and they can buzz them in, and one that's, I'm sorry, but you can't have disgruntled people. And they deal with a lot of disgruntled citizens that come in there, and for their safety, I said, this is something we might want to look at, and do it. And it's not costly to do this, and we've got the budget to do it. So, and it's professional. I mean, when I was a CO, to get into mine and the general's office area there, you had to swipe a card and buzz in to get in to see us.
Mm-hmm, sure.
That was security. So, and that's not something that I said, I've looked and gone to other municipalities to kind of see what they're doing in their town halls, and it's the same way. You can't get up to see the county manager unless you call in or you swipe in to get in there.
Mm-hmm, that's right. Yeah. So
this is not something that, we're trying to, it's a safety thing. It's a professional thing in my opinion too.
Mm-hmm. That's right too. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's in place. The changes there at Madison Town Hall. Now let's go back to your meeting. What are some things on the agenda that you're going to be looking at Thursday?
Well, I want everyone to understand. I mean, one of the things that we have, and when you do a budget, is you have a water sewer fund and you have a general fund. And neither of the two shall touch one another.
Right.
Like, for instance, if I'm $500,000 short on water and sewer, I cannot take $500,000 from the general fund and move it over to balance that. They can't. There's a wall between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So we have made a conscious effort over the years, and when I came on board, to improve the underground water infrastructure in this town. And it's you can see it. Our leaks are minimal now. We're not losing, the thousands of gallons of water due to these leaks that they had in the years before.
Mm-hmm.
And that also can be seen because, especially on the sewer side, where Madison and treats the sewer through that consolidated sewer plant for Madison, Madison, and Stoneville. And talking to the former mayor over there, Madison, and I talked to him about it. He said, "Yeah, we've noticed a considerable drop in what they have to do to treat our water because it has improved that much."
Oh, that's great news.
So that's good news right there. So it's working. That said, to do that, and we went out and got a grant, for instance, to upgrade some of this stuff. But for water and sewer, the state mandates that you can't get down to more than 35% of what you got left with your fund. And we're right at that. But we paid for a lot of things over the last couple of years. For instance, we got $500,000 work for $125,000, which we had to put out there to improve some of the stuff. And we improved some of the other lines in places. So that brought it down. Well, we have to increase our sewer rate, water and sewer rate, to get that back up to where it needs to be. And so we've got it. We're going to be increasing 8%, which puts a $6 increase to everyone's bill every 2 months.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's not a lot. You spend $6. Most people spend more than that on a pack of cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
So they shouldn't be smoking anyways. But that's going to happen, and that $6 increase for everything will push our water and sewer out there above $1 million, where it needs to be. Mm-hmm. And that way, if we have an issue, then we can take care of it. So. But and our general fund, we're great with that right there. So that's one of the things that people are going to see. Some would say, well, why are we doing it now? And it's no good time, Mike, to do it. And I've talked with the North Carolina League of Municipalities. I've spoken to other the mayors and stuff that are having to do this, and they're getting the same advice to. You need to do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
And
bite the bullet
and move forward. Just bite the bullet and do it. It does no good to split it up or not do it because the state's just going to come in and go and mandate you do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's where we are with that right there, and that'll get our water and sewer fund back up to over $1 million probably by next year.
Well, you said $6 every 2 months. You kind of figure that out over the weeks, and that's really not a lot to get where you need to be.
That is seriously chalk dust.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, when I was living in California, my water sewer bill was every month, and on average, it was like $140.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that was every month. And that was living out in Oceanside, California. And in other places, you're looking at $200-300. On average, around here, $6 to a water sewer bill. Plus that also you're getting your trash picked up. So when someone says, well, my bill just shot up like last month, a lot of people's, but even mine went up $100. Well, you got to remember, you've been home for that month. You've been washing your clothes a whole lot more. You've been probably watering your plants a whole lot more. You've been washing dishes, washing your hands, and flushing your toilets a whole lot more.
Oh, yeah.
You got more people in the house. So that would be why you probably see a lot of people have seen an increase already, which we haven't instituted the 8% yet. But just by them being at home for the COVID-19 is going to increase your water usage, and therefore your rate, what your normal bill is going to be higher.
Oh, sure. Well, our lifestyle has changed drastically. Yeah, we're at home. Yeah.
So, to your point right there, that means you're going to have to change your lifestyle at home a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't be sitting there brushing your teeth and leaving the water running.